What's good, YouTube? You might have noticed a few less uploads the past few days. I've been getting in fighting shape for YCS Dallas. We started the Zodiac tournament once again. 256 people because Robbie Cole and I love the pain of running tournaments for you guys for free without ever charging prizes. It's been a pretty long week, but I'm ready for YCS Dallas. Duggo, D, Zeeth, and Alex Simo are gonna be here, and we're gonna have a great time this weekend. We have a show for you guys Friday planned out, tabletop slash table talk for you guys coming up soon. But let's go ahead and get into this market watch, guys. Firewall Dragon, we come to the age where it's a $50 card. This is the YCS Dallas effect, and I'm going to show you the YCS Dallas effect in two places. One where the card's going to continue to go up after having been purchased, and two where it's gone down after being purchased. Basically, a lot of people needed cards for YCS Dallas, and Firewall Dragon seeing its first real meta play outside of World Chalice, and a deck where it's assumed to be the deck, Spirals. And it is hanging around at $52 here. And it's hanging out at $50 here. Again, it's a great card. It's an amazing card. You need multiples when you're playing it. I personally think one day it'll be on the limited list. That's me. Everyone's like, oh, it'll get an errata. No, it won't get an errata. It'll be limited if it happens, in my opinion. It's a really powerful card that you play in multiples right now, and it's used in Spirals, finally, a top meta deck. I think it's a really good card, but one day it's going to get its reprint, and we all know it. It's like watching a train head towards a wall, but people keep getting on because it's going to stop before the wall, but we don't know when the final stop is. That's my opinion on it, and if you need it right now, you have to get it to play with. That's just the boat you're in. Spiral Super Agent's actually down. The thing is, the YCS Dallas effect in a sense is, people are buying out these cards in order to go play with. It's an actual natural buyout. So people had to acquire these cards for YCS Dallas and get them in time. Now we're seeing it trickle down because we're right before YCS Dallas. Everyone who has ordered them already got them. And now people don't need them as bad because they're all are ready for the events this weekend. I believe there's a New York regional as well, if I'm not mistaken. I think I heard that. But YCS Dallas is the big show. A lot of people are traveling out. I know people getting in a car for 20 hours to come out here. So a lot of people had to get ready, and they're picking this to be the deck rather than Pendulum Magicians, rather than Paleozoic, rather than ABC. They're picking this to be the deck, and that's why it went up. A ton of people agree with that, and we see it as cheap as $26 before $27, before $28 on eBay. It's just chilling out real fast because everybody has theirs for the event, and now it's time to see what it's going to do and how it's going to do it. That's, again, the YCS Dallas effect. It went up, now it's going down. Firewall went up, and it's going to continue to creep up. Another card that went up and is chilling out is Ash Blossom at 73. You might have remembered it peaked all the way at 85 recently, and now it's chilling on out at 73, but on eBay as low as 68, 69. You'll need 3 unless it does see its reprint, and its reprint, the only wacky set I could think of is a Gold Series announcement for Ash Blossom. Like, if this weekend, which YCS tends to drop huge news on duels, right? There tends to be some huge news that drops during a YCS to continue the excitement of Yu-Gi-Oh! Unless it's in Gold Series, I don't see its upcoming reprint pack besides maybe an ulti in the OP packs. I don't think it would be a super in the OP pack, so I doubt its reprint is coming soon. But again, just talking about the YCS Dallas effect from the last market watch, it went up, now it's down because everybody who has theirs already is going to that event, and people don't want to touch that expensive of a card unless they're playing it. Side blocker went up for Pendulum Magicians. Remember, Prohibition spiked. You can call Spiral Super Agent. Double Helix counts as it by effect, so it can come out on the field, but you stop it in its tracks there with Side Blocker. That's pretty dang good. So it went up from, I believe, $5 to $8. Not the biggest jump. Remember, there's still the battle pack version, but there's not many of these. You see, it goes up to 9 after just 2 sellers, and Core TCG has 2 play sets. It's pretty dang good in Pendulum Magicians. I would say if you're playing Pendulum Magicians, it's better than Prohibition, if you've been considering that card for that specific deck. The rest of the decks are stuck with Prohibition, putting themselves at the mercy of Spell and Trap Destruction. But a great secret rare out of Star Strike Blast, heavily suggested to anyone who plans to continue to play that nice cheap deck Pendulum Magicians. I'm a fan personally. I haven't decided if I'm playing it or Paleo or Spirals for Dallas, but I've been putting in that work and trying to decide. We've got Super Quantum Red Layer, and it is up. Let me make sure I refresh this tab. I don't remember looking at this morning and refreshing it. Yep, $13. This seems to have come from VCT RFS's Market Watch group. From what I heard, I saw it on his Market Watch, and I saw it on Robbie's Market Watch, giving him credit for breaking the story on this one. I personally think it has a lot of great options for not only link summoning, for synchro summoning, for overlaying. It's a great card overall, but does it merit this huge price spike? I personally don't know. I haven't seen it index. I haven't seen it go to that level. It is a great card for being able to push itself out without your opponent having to rely on them. I just don't know, guys. I don't know about this one. Again, it has great options for all those kinds of things, but I just don't see it selling, perhaps, at those prices. And we already see it at $8 not selling out over here. So that's really cooling off over on eBay. Don't just take this price as the Bible truth. It's already down almost half. Almost. 13 versus, you know, 8. That's a pretty wide gap. Whenever there's a $5 gap on something under $20, that's pretty big. So don't freak out. Don't run out to get yours now. Just chill. It hasn't done anything in the OCG. It's not doing anything here yet that I'm aware of. Evenly Matched has gone down about $6-ish since pre-release. We saw it on eBay for I believe 65 lowest when we did our Market Watch. Double Helix has crept up a little to 34. They were available for 30 on a few websites, and they were pre-selling for 30, and it's crept up. People are rumoring that Double Helix is a short print. Don't believe the hype there. Just chill out on it. Everybody just happens to need it. I don't think it's realistically short printed at all. Borolo Dragon at $23 still. I'm surprised it's hanging in there. Akashic Magician at $16, cooled down from that $20 pre-sale hype. I think you can thank Yu-Gi-Oh! Singles for that, for having them available and making the sales slower. We have Chimera chilling at 11 from its 12, and then everything else is kind of just low from there. I'm actually surprised at how high still the Varel support is, but you know, or barrel, I suppose. It is what it is. And Baguska still chilling here at the $3 mark. Everybody needs one, but one's not enough to really sell a card. I expect it to continue to go down despite how good it is. And Evenly Matched here on eBay, chilling a little higher than TCG Player 60. I've heard a lot of people asking for these for YCS Dallas, though. So we might see this card really perform there. It's good players asking just to give that away, but I don't know that it holds its price point. I kind of expect to see it trickle down to 50 personally. Double Helix over on eBay is actually 40, surprisingly, you know, $5 higher than TCG Player, or more than 5, 6. That's pretty surprising for eBay, and it is what it is. This card is super wanted, and I guess people don't know where to grab it. Looks like there's a brand new listing during Market Watch for $39, ooh, but it's still relatively higher than TCG Player. And of course, I'll always shout out Yu-Gi-Oh! Singles. They've still got deals when you use DGZ Bot Z5 for 5% off to pretty much rival or undercut any of these, and their Akashic Magicians are still the lowest on market. They went up from the price that they originally had them when I showed them, you guys. Just saying, I found you all deals. We've got Phantom Knight's Fogblade over here at $16. The BA hype is real. BA and Phantom Knight go together like peanut butter and jelly, like fish in a water. They just meld real nice together. So the hype for BA also pushed this deck, and it doesn't have any reprints unlike the other cards, so it's gonna take its time chilling back out. I don't know what this is at though. So we have 18-ish for Fogblade, and we have 11-ish for Cloak over here. If we go to eBay, it's 15 for Fogblade, and it's about 9s for Cloak. So cheaper on eBay by a small margin. It's still, you know, chilling out pretty fast from where it was a couple days ago, where the spike of hype hit. I personally just don't see it being worth that much, but I do see BA returning to the forefront of the meta in terms of at least topping regionals, if not a YCS here and there. It was capable of it during full power fusion sub-Zoo with the power of Shadows. So I don't know if Phantom Knights will be the best version, but I do expect BA to be doing a little something something. TG Wonder Magician, the Synchro tuners are just up there like crazy due to needle fiber. You can still get the Ultra versions first ed very, very cheap from the original. It has a secret rare that looks very nice as well. That's gone up way more than the Ultra at $3 versus its market price of 74 cents. Honestly, I'd grab the secret. It looks real nice if you're actually planning on keeping it. But the Ulties completely sold out to a point where they're pretty much non-existent. Let me make sure I refreshed this bar too. Looks like it. So it's pretty crazy out here for the synchro tuners and synchro hype. People are just hunting down whatever is a synchro tuner, it feels like. And we see $20 lowest on eBay for, you know, the foreign ones where people didn't want to take the time to get them. And my final note here is Infernoids. Infernoids are doing a bit in the OCG. If you notice the last pie chart, it's like 92% Spiral, 7% Infernoids. Those were all of the top cut it looked like. We don't got grass at 3 in the TCG. So that's a huge hindrance, but there are tops from 40 card Infernoid decks as well as the 60. So that is a thing, and we have access to 3 Fairy Tale Snow when we need it. I don't know that Infernoids will be as busted here as it is over there. It's barely peeping in our meta. I don't know that it's warranted enough to fight Spirals here. But let me know what you think. We see them creeping up. We've seen suggestions on other Market Watch such as Void Banishment because it doesn't have a reprint. I personally just don't, after thinking about it, feel it since we only have grass at 1 here. You know, Left Arm Offering, get ashed, you're crying. You're just my deck. But the deck's top despite being in an ash format before, so it can obviously do it again. But with 1 grass, how do you guys feel about this one? There's tons more ways to mill nowadays though, so there's also that. We got 3 charges. Hey, thanks for watching this Market Watch. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Support me on Patreon if you do. This is one of the only segments besides the series that I'm gonna edit heavily from now on, where I'm gonna push my Patreon on you guys. I work pretty darn hard every day on YouTube, and I would love for you guys to support me back there, especially if you use that ad blocker, but you don't have to. Just being here is enough support for me. Those views are real nice. But if you feel like you make money off this segment, do give back a little.